but sustained by our confidence in the will of God and the promise of man.
Covered a bizarre system of handling the tape recordings of the president's meetings and phone calls, carelessly stored and checked in and out.
The unemployment rate soared to 8.2% nationwide last month. And
who managed to get in with legal documents, and the many who managed entrance.
I want to thank all of you. I love everybody here. You've been great to me. Thank you very much.
Well, folks, the year is 1976, and the election between Carter and Ford, well, let's just say Ford isn't too happy, and Carter's looking to take office in the next coming months. In other news, New York, there's a new band playing with punk bands like the Ramones, clubs like CBGB's. This new thing they call New Wave. Talking Heads, really big with the youth, looking to create an album in the coming months. Songs like Psycho Killer and Oh Love Comes to Town. Well, 77 just came out. What are people thinking about it? Critics are citing the encapsulating groove on songs like Psycho Killer.
Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
People are also mentioning how they're weaving funk rhythms into their songs with songs like Uh-Oh, Love Comes to Town. Psycho Killer, however, has sparked some controversy as people are saying that it's about the Son of Sam murders. Although not a commercial success, this album is certainly putting their name out there, even if they're only known really still in the New York punk scene. All in all, this is a very solid album, with some good songs like Uh-Oh, Love Comes to Town, and even the closer, Love Goes to Building on Fire. The band would partner up with Brian Eno, famous producer, to work on their second album, titled Well, the new Talking Heads record just released. What do we think about it? This album gives us a more insightful perspective on what the band is capable of production-wise. Although their previous work was certainly solid, it was more of a live album, whereas this album certainly goes all out with the production. This album sort of shines light on American paranoia and criticizes American urban life with songs like the album's closer, The Big Country.
I wouldn't live if you paid.
And again, with the very jumpy track, Found a Job.
Think about this little sin, apply it to your life. If your work isn't what you love, then something isn't right.
This album is also causing some traction for the band with their cover of Al Green's Take Me to the River, which exhibits a slower tempo than the original, and even landed them a top 40 hit. The production with songs like Thank You for Sending Me an Angel is certainly highlighting their transition from the stage into the production studio. All in all, critics are saying that this album is certainly a step up from their previous work. Their 1978 record would prove not to be the last time they criticized American lifestyles and the materialistic ideas that were plaguing the country at the time, as they would begin work on a new project. I am, of course, talking about 1979's Fear music would bring new grooves and danceable tracks, Although their previous albums certainly had a funk element to them, David and Brian's shared love for Afrobeat rhythms would certainly shine through a little more on this record, like with their opener, I Zimbra, which takes direct influence from African music. As well as songs like Cities and Life During Wartime. This album showcased the band's variety, with the album's closer, Drugs, or even a song like Heaven, a beautiful song about people having a good time forever. David stated that the album's tracklist reads as sort of a table of contents for different fears: fear of mind, fear of drugs, fear of war, and fear of heaven. This album also has several references to war and paranoia, which gives us a sort of insight on the effect that conflict had on the American citizens at the time.
Intermission. Intermission. Intermission.
Intermission. Intermission. Time for an intermission. Let's see if we can get a closer look on the effect that Talking Heads has had on the youth. We are aiming to hunt down Heather Heathers, a professional new wave snob, with bogus news. Yes, those are two really real things. Heather, we're here with Bogus News. We wanted to see if we can ask you some questions.
Guess since you're already here.
So what do you like about the Talking Heads?
I like their image. The music is good to dance to. The lyrics are awfully depressing. It's confusing.
What exactly do you like about their image?
I like their style. David's outfits always strike me as intriguing. It's almost like a rainbow threw up on him. Sometimes he even looks straight out of a French film.
You take inspiration from the band style?
Well, obviously.
What's your main takeaway from the band's music?
Wouldn't you like to know, Bogus Boy?
Okay.
I don't know. Their music is like upbeat, dystopia. Darkness you can dance to.
Well, thank you, Heather. Okay, bye. After the success of Fear of Music, bassist Tina Weymouth and her husband Chris France went on holiday to reevaluate their position in the band, as they thought David Byrne was too controlling in songwriting. When they came back, they decided that all members would play an equal part in the song-making process. And that's when they made their fourth studio album, and their third one with Brian Eno. I'm of course referring to... Remain in Light would be their fourth studio album, and their third and final one working with Brian Eno. The album would take direct influence from African artists such as Fela Kuti. David's vision for the album would be described by him as having as many people play at the same time as possible. This can be seen in a song like the opener, Born Under Punches, which is all over the place, but it works. Or a song like The Great Curve, which at one point has 3 different vocal layers singing on top of each other at the same time. It's crazy. And well... Once in a Lifetime is certainly a standout track, and it's sort of symbolic. David stated that the song is about waking up and not recognizing yourself, sort of how some people live their life on a sort of autopilot mode. Or a song like Houses in Motion, which is a song about realization of dread and corruption of capitalism. This album would be just as successful as their previous, and would be regarded as a masterpiece. After the release of Remain in Light, the band members would go their separate ways again. Tina and her husband Chris France would go and form their own group, Tom Tom Club. And you might be thinking, I've never heard of that. Yes, you have.
What you gonna do when you get out of jail?
A year after Tom Tom Club, the band would come back once again to record their fifth studio album, and their first one without Brian Eno since '77. That would be 1983's Speaking in Tongues, which would include their opener, Burning Down the House, which would be their first top 10 hit in the US. As well as Making Flippy Floppy, a song about conforming to social norms. Or one of my personal favorites, the Funkalicious Girlfriend is Better. And closing off the album, one of their most beautiful songs, This Must Be the Place. The album did very well commercially and would prompt the band to play some live shows. Director Jonathan Demme would partner with the band and record some of these shows and encapsulate them in their first concert film, Stop Making Sense. We won't go too deep into that because it's a lot. In 1985, the band would release. It would strip back the more experimental side of their music, which they showcased in their previous albums. Songs like And She Was, the album's opener, is a far cry from something like Remain in Light's opener, Born Under Punches. There's also Road to Nowhere, which is just a lovely song. The band would come back in 1988 to release their final album as Talking Heads. That's right, Talking Heads would get... They would use the same recording strategies that they did in Remain in Light, but this time it was more polished and clean. Standout tracks include Nothing But Flowers, Blind, Cool Water, and Big Daddy.
There was a factory, now there are mountains and rivers. You got it.
And that would mark the end as Talking Heads as a band, but they would leave a long-lasting impression on fashion, art, and pop culture in general.